Good morning. We are going to do a video showing some weekend food prep. So as you can hear by all the noise in the background, we have a lot of kids. We have 10 children with number 11 due in 8 weeks, and we are home pretty much all the time. So that's breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, everything, home all the time. So it's really helpful when you take one day a week to do a bunch of food prep, pantry restock for the coming week ahead. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to see how much I get done. Like I said, I'm 32, 33, I don't know, weeks pregnant, and it is, the weather's been really hot. Like, we've been over 90 degrees, so I kind of get tuckered out in the afternoons. So because it is so hot, we're starting by making some popsicles for later. So I threw in the frozen mixed berries from Costco, about, what is that, 3 cups worth in my blender. I'm going to add water, and usually I put frozen bananas in, but I think I'm out of frozen bananas. So I'm just going to add some water and a little bit of stevia. And for some extra protein, a spoonful of beef gelatin powder, and then we're going to put these into popsicle molds for this afternoon. More?
Yes. The only guy is getting back home because I got it backwards.
I normally don't measure this. I'm trying to measure it for you guys. I put water in about up to the, 5 cup mark. I don't know. People always ask me for recipes. I do things differently every time, so I don't have a recipe. Maybe. You know what, to really throw you off, I found some leftover yogurt in the refrigerator, so I'm going to put the rest of that in here also. Let's see how much is in here. Okay, buddy? Okay. Looks like we have maybe a 1/3 cup in here.
Why can I flip a car?
You want to lick that?
I like the story. My turn.
Now I'm going to put in a little less than a 1/2 teaspoon of stevia, just to add a little bit of sweet. I almost forgot the beef gelatin powder. This gives protein, and it will help it gel up a little bit. It's just kind of good addition. So I'm just putting 1 little spoonful in.
And one who has one height. No, you're still.
Okay, that quantity of that mixture makes 2 popsicle molds worth. So if you only have 1 popsicle mold, cut it in half. Another thing I'm doing today with this hot weather is making some cold brew to put in the refrigerator. So we get coffee from our friends at Shepherd's Crook Coffee. It's the only coffee that I can drink. It is, it doesn't make me sick at all. I didn't drink coffee for years because I would get sick from just a cup or 2. If I would drink it 2 days in a row, I'd end up with heart palpitations and feeling so yucky. But their coffee, this is just a family-owned business. They have 2 kids. They're just really precious people, raise sheep. Anyway, we met them when we traveled to the Ozarks and fell in love with them and their coffee. So they get their coffee from individual farmers around the world, and they air roast it to order. So when you place an order, then they take beans and air roast them and send them to you. Anyway, they love to do giveaways with our channel here, and so they actually, knowing how much we are enjoying cold brew right now in these hot months, they want to give away a bag of cold brew, which never focuses. So go ahead and just leave any comment below that says the word coffee, and I will enter you to in a drawing to win a bag of your very own cold brew. So the way that I make cold brew is I grind the beans. Their beans come whole because fresh ground beans have the best flavor. If you don't have a grinder, it's no big deal. We didn't for years. We would just throw them in our blender and grind some up, and they were good to go. So I put about a cup of fresh ground, fluffy coffee in a mason jar and fill it up the rest of the way with just room temperature or cold water. And you're gonna put this in your refrigerator for at least 24 hours, and then you have this cold brew. So the heat never touched it. It's very low in acidity. Do you want to come up and say hi?
No.
So I take your cup or your mason jar, however much cold brew you want. I put in a little bit of real maple syrup that our friends brought us from New York, but you could use any sweetener you like. And I pour in some of the cold brew, some of our fresh cream, and a bunch of ice cubes. And I will just kind of shake it up. Once in a while, we like to make it a little bit more like milkshakey with a hand blender, but usually I just shake it up and it's good to go. And it's such a refreshing drink, especially in the summer when it's really hot out. So this probably happens at your house too, but thankfully I caught it in time. It's been about 45 minutes and it's getting hard to put sticks in, but we're making it happen, aren't we? Is this your favorite part? Or do you like eating them best?
Eating them back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mom, you take that one.
Yeah, you just have to use your muscles.
Big mother.
Oh, good. Whoa, look at that big muscle guy. This one, we might need to scoot this one over a little bit. You actually put it on the edge of the popsicle, so that might not work.
Can I?
I used to use the lid that came with these things and put the popsicles in immediately, but I got really annoyed by it because it's so liquid with that lid. They kind of flop sideways and it's hard to get off, so now I just set a timer.
Mom.
And you want to do some? Let's let James do some. Next, we are making a double batch of mayonnaise. So this is so easy to do if you have a hand blender. I have honestly not found any other way that is as effective as this hand blender. We got ours from Amazon. I can put a link to the one that we have. I've tried it in blenders, food processors over the years, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But with the hand blender, you will get pretty much perfect mayonnaise every time. So for a single batch, which again I'm going to double mine, but for a single batch you're going to use 1 egg. We use our farm fresh eggs so we know that they're great quality. 1 cup of oil. I'm using avocado oil. You can use olive oil too, but the avocado oil definitely gives it a lighter flavor. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, a half teaspoon of mustard, regular prepared mustard, yellow mustard, and a half teaspoon of salt. So you just put those ingredients into a jar, and then you're going to hold your hand blender down at the bottom for a minute. So I just kind of count to 60 seconds in my head. You're emulsifying these together to turn them into the consistency of mayonnaise. And so you hold it at the bottom for a minute, and then you slowly bring that hand blender up and down to finish the emulsification process for another minute or two. And that's it. Stick it in the refrigerator and you have healthy, fresh mayonnaise. So easy. This is something that we use a lot of, so this double batch of mayonnaise will be gone definitely by the end of the week. Now we're going to make an apple cider vinaigrette. This is our current favorite salad dressing. The family eats it probably daily. We have fresh lettuce coming up in our garden, and everybody loves the salad dressing. So in a quart jar, you're going to mix up 1.5 cups of oil. Olive oil is usually what I use, or avocado oil. Half a cup of apple cider vinegar, 4 tablespoons of honey, 4 teaspoons of mustard. And actually, I've been putting a little bit more mustard lately, and we've been enjoying that. So it's probably more like 6 teaspoons, which I think is 2 tablespoons if my measurements are right. Half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic, and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That's it. You just put all the ingredients in, shake it up really well, or even blend it with that hand blender, and you're good to go. It is, you're going to love this dressing. It even right down to my 2-year-old dumps it on his salad because it's just a great blend of sweet but a little tang from that apple cider vinegar. It's wonderfully refreshing. Is it yummy? Yeah, good. Now I'm going to make more sweet tea to feed my scobies to make more kombucha. So you can see my kids, I keep 3 gallons going at a time. Probably should go to 4 now in the summer. We don't drink this every day because with as many people as we have, 3 gallons that take, you know, a week or so to make more kombucha, it goes really fast. But this is ideally something that you would just drink a small amount of each day for digestion. So my scobies, you can see, are huge. They actually need to be kind of divided and shared with friends or make more because they're getting really big. My kids have gotten into the cabinet, drank it down until we have just, they know to leave a little bit so you have some for making your next batch. So because I make 3 gallons at a time, I use my big stock pot. I put in 3 cups of organic sugar and 3 quarts of water per cup. And also you're going to put tea in. Now sometimes I use a loose tea. Right now I have green tea bags, and so I'm going to put 4 green tea bags for each jar. So that's a total of 12 green tea bags that I'm going to put in the water. So what you do to start is you're going to heat up your water and sugar. It doesn't have to be a rolling boil, but it needs to be hot enough that it totally melts that sugar. I'm going to put in my 12 tea bags. I'm going to cover it up and I'm going to let those steep until later when I get around to it. Then I'll take those tea bags out and that's it. I have my sweet tea now to add to the jars. You always want to keep in at least about a cup of kombucha from your last batch. And then of course you put your SCOBY back in the jar, cover it, and let it sit. In this hot temperature, it will be done in 7 days for sure. In the winter, sometimes it can take a little longer. Now we're expecting really hot 90s weather, and we don't have our air conditioners on, so it may get done even quicker. After 5 or so days, I'll just taste it a little bit to see if it's how we like it. And if it is, then you can pull it off, pour it off, and put it in the refrigerator and start the process all over again. Benjamin's in from swimming in the pool, and he is going to help me make the next item. We are making monster cookies.
Yeah.
This is a recipe from the Venison for Dinner website. So it's 9 cups of oats, and then 4 cups where you could mix together like nuts, dried fruit, chocolate, whatever you have on hand. So what I have on hand,
Chocolate.
I know, I don't have any chocolate, but I do have some nuts that we soaked and dehydrated, and I have some dates. So I'm going to blend these up a little bit in my food processor, which you can see has been quite used. It's duct taped together, but it still works. So I'm going to break these up a little bit in here. We're looking for a total of 4 cups. Prep thing that I can do for the week is just to thaw meat out. It's so simple, and yet the weeks that I don't do it, I always feel a little bit behind. So I'm out here in my barn. You can hear the cicadas are really loud out here. In our barn, we have 3 deep freezers and 1 upright refrigerator freezer. Each of the deep freezers are for a different type of meat. So I have a chicken rabbit freezer. I have a pork freezer. which also holds sheep, you know, depending on what we have at that time. And then I have a beef and venison freezer, which also goes back and forth. All of them kind of do. You know, you'll get a lot of one thing and then less of that, and then harvest another animal. So anyway, I'm going to grab out some roast. I'm going to get some bacon and 4 packages of ground meat. I'm going to do 2 beef and 2 pork. And I'm going to grab a packet of ribs also. I pack my packages, we pack them ourselves because we harvest our own animals. And so when I say, you know, like 1 packet of ribs, I mean the package is so big that I can fill my entire crock pot with it. Or if I say 1 packet of ground meat, I'm talking about like 2 pounds in there because they're Kreke sized. I'm not going to pull out enough meat to last me 7 days because it's so warm out. I just don't want it sitting, you know, in the refrigerator that long that gets open and closed all day long. So I'm just going to pull it out. That'll last us for probably, you know, 4 or 5 days. And then at the very end, I will pull out some more to thaw. I forgot to mention I'm going to grab some chicken as well. We're actually kind of running low. We're getting to the end of our chicken. You can see this is a small freezer and there's not a whole lot in it. Well, my camera died on me, but I'm done anyway. I'm actually ready to lay down and take a rest. I'm tired. But I know that my future self this week is going to thank my present self for the things I got done today. The mayonnaise, the salad dressings, the multiple batches of popsicles, the monster cookies, kombucha. What else did we do? I'm glad I took the time to do that. Let me know if there's anything that you do to prep for the week ahead. I'm always curious to get other ideas from people. I find that whether you do a lot or a little, even if you just do one thing, it's just thawing meat out, you're always glad that you did, because anything that you do ahead is going to be a blessing for, especially for moms with busy households, lots going on. Set yourself up and help yourself out. So don't forget to sign up for the coffee giveaway and check out their website as well, and chat with me in the comments below. I'd love to hear the kinds of things that you do to prep for your week ahead.